are. We're going live.
Ayo, can you hear me, Aaron?
Yep, I can hear you.
Woo!
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We are. I hit 2. Oh. Let me get out, because I'm not going to think.
Are we gonna need to move the mic?
No, the mic should be just fine.
Okay.
Alright, I'm confused.
Okay.
The one folder that was labeled Nerevis doesn't have a label on it anymore.
That's odd.
Alrighty. We are live. We are down a player, but that's fine, whatever. Let me pull this up on my phone and then we will get going. Make sure that everything is running hunky-dory. You're a little slow getting moving tonight.
He's all good.
There we go. What'd you just throw at me? Was it important? Okay. Hey, Poison Ivy. So this is Dragons in the Dining Room, DMLoxy presiding. This is Nerevis, which we haven't done in a while because life is a thing, and it's a glorious thing. And because life is a thing, we're going to have a slightly shorter than normal stream. We will not be taking break at 8. We will be ending somewhere between 8 and 8:30 because life. And I am totally cool with that. So, welcome back to everyone who's been missing out.
Hey, Scarecrows.
Hey, Scarecrows. We are going to... Oh, Cosmo got a 5 on their first roll. And Vistra got a 17 on her first roll. So let me flip this over here. When we last left off... Actually, hold on. Nope, I'm not even gonna...
I get an 8. You know, your rolls do not like me, Poison.
Or Cosmo, for that matter.
Right? So, brownie points for anyone else who remembers where we left off. You guys had... Actually, I'm just going to recap some and then fill in important details as you see fit. Hey, Miss Fatal. Welcome to the chat. Are all 4 rolls already claimed?
Yep.
Miss Fatal just claimed one for the DM to give her a 15.
Yay, thank you.
Scarecrow's just missed his chance.
That's all. I think we need to limit that a little bit. Nobody else gets a chance to roll.
It doesn't have a cooldown.
And fireball.
Alright,
let me roll
We'll see what happens.
the d20.
I need... Wait, hold on.
We're going to wait to see what happens first.
It is a 1. No fireball. Thank you for the cheers, Bard in the North.
Hey, thank you.
Twice.
Where we left off. It's gonna be a really freaking short stream tonight, guys. Where we last... Yes, more cheers. Where we last left off is the party had taken off towards Fort Calyx and the Cuthbert Manor. They had an odd running in with William Cuthbert's family, his younger sister, his older sister, and then a doppelganger that was taking the place of William Cuthbert's father, and his mother was spelled by something. All sorts of crazy shenanigans, fights in a hallway, goblins popping out of nowhere. It was.
Yeah, that's right. We left off with the goblins popping out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, no, hey, Ron the Half-Orc, good to see you alive and well. with the loot horde.
Ooh, loot horde.
Right? We are going to be kicking things. Although I was going to kick some stuff off with some RP with William Cuthbert, but he's not here, so I'm going to.
Boo! Wasn't there also more evidence of the existence of elves? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes.
there was.
Are.
Which did not, for some reason, surprise Eric.
No,
And
but we had people roll, and they did not notice that Eric was not surprised by this.
And yes, thank you, Poison Ivy Pika, for using our new emote. I'm so happy that we have that.
Ooh,
That is our DCC emote.
I am going to. It's epic. I am going to give it a moment for Parisa and Hakudin and. Or no, Rogath, not Hakudin. Oh my god.
So there's a big difference between Hakuden and.
You know, as long as you talk to me all night, Aaron, it'll be a good night. Like, keep talking. I'm just gonna start sending. We need to set you up an account so I can just give you bits to keep talking to me. We'll keep this well funded. Hashtag Corona made me do it. It's so I will let you guys. What?
Nobody made it out alive.
We've been coming up against some powerful worms there.
We are gonna let Parisa and Rogath and Eric kick things up with a little bit of RP as you guys just got out of combat. The doppelganger's dead. The side dudes are dead. You had found some orange fur. I just lost his. Oh my god. Trogdor the Vigilant and the other Dor. Dor and Trogdor had taken off to go try and speak with the other ogre tribes.
And our royal bookkeeper.
Yes.
Has taken
Went
off
with
with
them.
them as well.
Yes. She was very convinced that she had within her and the power from the spellbook of Mirren to handle the my proof of life was given, I know.
Take care, Ron.
Trogdor, her character went that way, that character went there. William Cuthbert's sisters are running around getting some dinner together and making getting a meal together for you guys. You can sit and talk and discuss what in the actual Sam Hay is going on here.
And do we know what happened to Benjamin Cuthbert?
We do
Benjamin
not.
Button?
And you're not there.
You had your chance.
Mrs. Cuthbert says, no, the last thing I remember is he was acting strangely. I went to confront him and then I was unconscious. I suspect that my husband may have been gone for 2 to 3 days before I was struck unconscious. And you know from the rest of the family that she's been unconscious for a while. Like more than a few days. So it's for sure been longer than a week.
So, could we... Would that be about the same time as we were attempting to leave
The first time?
Silas the first time?
Yes. They would roughly coincide. Maybe within a day or so of each other.
So about the time that William Cuthbert left Silas.
Yes.
Yeah.
You realize, Parisa, that Lufer is not by your side. And as you're kind of like, where is that dang dog now? And you look over, and Lufer is laying there with William Cuthbert's youngest sister curled up on him, and both of them are sound asleep.
I'm gonna lose my dog.
You are.
You know that's I'm okay with this because that's less game anxiety for me.
But yet you weren't okay with almost losing your pony.
No, I wasn't okay with my pony dying. Luther wouldn't die. He would have a happy family.
Right, and that's
It also talks.
That's what I should have done with Loxy, is I should have had a run off with Gage and just be traveling and have a happy ending. But she's gonna fight in purgatory forever, so.
It doesn't matter if we lose Luther. If Luther really wants to come with, he will.
Yup. So, what is all, DM advantage? Thank you, Miss Fatal Pillow.
Nice.
I need all the advantage I can get.
Suck up.
Nat 20.
Love you.
Suck up, player disadvantage. That's what I'm hearing.
No,
That's what you heard, right, Rogan? You heard player disadvantage?
No nat 1.
All the buffs, no nat 1, nat 20.
All the
I'm
things.
waiting for that.
William Cuthbert says that he is going
And there's a
to
hat trick.
take a lap around the manor, see if he can find anything else out of the ordinary since it is his home grounds. Since he's not here, I will roll for him to see what he finds, which thank you Poison Ivy Pika for the roll. I am going to make a mental note of that, and if and when he shows up, I will tell him what he sees.
Oh. International.
No, he's been messaging me, updating 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, so I just been paying attention.
Okay.
Because I'm a jerk like that.
You're a jerk.
I am, and I don't care. I love everyone, and they know it. So, Paladin of Marasa, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, being that we've never really come across a doppelganger and the other creature that we fought before, I am going to poke around in his library, see if there's anything that we can come up with here.
Roll me an investigation.
That might cause some.
Investigation is
I have a hard time hearing him over everybody else.
something. Where is it on here? 13.
As you're looking over these books, you see a lot of history books. You see a lot of battle tactic books, a lot of military lore, a lot of military tactics. The Nerevian equivalent of Sun Tzu's The Art of War. You see
Hang on to that. I was kidding.
you see a lot of tomes from people who have followed Corindor, the god of justice, to kind of. But something is your.
Thank you, Jimmy Man.
Thank you for the sub. The subs are amazing.
You know, I still have to steal that one shout. I still have to steal that shout out from him.
See something odd, but you can't put your finger on it. Like you're looking over the books, and you're like, something's not right, but you just can't seem to grasp what it is. It's your brain keeps seeing something, and then you're losing it.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
As you guys are sitting there with food before you, Carissa and Eric, you see Rogith looking over the books, and he has a very confused look on his face.
You look consternated.
Something about this doesn't make sense, but I can't quite put my foot on it.
Have you tried using your hands?
Indubitably.
Roll me one more investigation.
Oh, that's better.
Did you try using your hand help with his investigation?
Yes.
Sorry, I was using my toes. I'm sorry.
What'd you roll?
That'd be a 19.
That's much better. And as Priest is like, well, if you tried using your hand, you're like, that's it, the binding's on this book. And as you go to remove a tome, you hear a grinding noise, and one of the bookshelves turns sideways.
Oh, that's
And
different.
all of the Cuthbert clan that is in that room stops and stares. Like
Anyone have an explanation for this?
I take it none of you guys knew that was there.
Mrs. Cuthbert especially seems very upset by this. No, there was. There's.
How old is this fortress?
It's been in the family for generations, and there is a tunnel to Fort Calyx, but this isn't it. This we added on.
I'm going to get up and start walking toward the hole in the wall.
She's still weak from being, unconscious for the better part of 3 days, but she looks very upset. The blood has drained from her face. She is.
Sit down. I will go check it out. My curiosity gets me.
I'll come with you just in case.
All right.
I will go with as well. Please, and I will try to reassure her as best as I can. Please do not worry yourself too much about this. Perhaps it's something that has been forgotten.
Some of the house guards came into the room at this point and went, on his rounds. Benjamin adjusted our guard rotation. He sent some of us up to keep an eye on his family. Obviously it was needed. And they assure you that if you guys explore the tunnel, they will keep watch.
Wait, who sent them up?
William.
Okay.
Sorry, William.
Animated
Cuthbert.
armors! Animated armors!
Good catch.
A football chick.
And there are 3 of them. And for purpose of me remembering things, we're just gonna call them Hickory, Dickory, and Doc for now.
Does one of them fall into an oubliette and the other one gets smashed?
For the homies!
I'm just impressed all 3 of them made it to floor 2. Like, let's be honest.
So yeah, as you guys go in, are you going into the opening? Into the tunnel, or are you just looking down it?
I'm going in.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in as well.
Before we enter, though,
Alright, perfect. Yes.
before we enter, though, I am going to look about, and I'm going to look at one of the guards.
Yes.
Do either of the I said I'm looking at. Do either of the guards have a short sword on them?
Yes, all 3 of them do.
Awesome. I'm going to look at one of them. Would one of you be willing to give up your short sword?
And one of them unstraps his and tosses it to you.
Awesome. That was easier than I thought. I'm going to strap it in next to my rapier. I now have an offhand weapon that's light, so I can two-weapon fight properly.
Oh, God.
You're welcome.
What can I say except you're welcome? For the sums.
Aw, thank you, Cosma.
You didn't need to do that, but thank you.
I'll take all the scales I can get.
Great.
Just figured everybody who lost their...
Something you notice right away, Eric, is there is light in this tunnel.
Really?
About 20, and it's kind of sloping down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to make my way down this hallway.
And
I am going to be doing so with both my rapier and my short sword drawn.
hallway is correct. I'm going to describe it a little bit.
Do you want to move to the end?
It's about...
Did he finally show up?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's here.
Now I'm moving to the end.
Okay.
It's about 5 feet wide. I'm going to pause before I continue the description of this as we add our other player.
A cleric always arrives precisely when he means to.
It's okay. 10 more minutes. I was gonna kill you for the fun of it.
No, you weren't.
Try me.
We did.
You weren't.
Stealing the kids. I'll be back.
Don't kill him.
So I can't drop them off.
William Cuthbert is a very lovable character, so
We've only met him once.
he makes a good impression.
Can you turn here a little bit?
How?
System volume.
Where am I looking?
Bottom right, you should see something that looks like a speaker. Click on that. And then can you bump it up to like 75?
Okay.
Now we should be able to hear Aaron better.
Okay.
Oh, was it coming outside?
Oh, there we go. Well, we have people taking off too, so it'll be easier to hear in a second here. Alright, so, what you missed while you were out gallivanting about
Yes.
is the, you remember fighting the doppelganger of your father.
Yes.
You guys were told that your father was being, or wait, no. You guys were told that they believed your father was being held in the dungeon at Fort Calyx.
Yes.
But Mrs. Cuthbert had no recollection of any of this. She wasn't sure. Rogath was looking at the bookshelf in the office. Something caught his eye weird. And he went to, at the prompting of Parisa, move a book, and the bookshelf went, this, you were not in the room when this happened.
No.
But you,
Secret tunnel.
what did I miss?
Sokka, why is your forehead red?
I don't even know. You decided to take a lap around the grounds just to see if anything struck you as
Out of place.
right. You sent a contingency of the house guard up to ward your mother and sisters. Your youngest sister, the sassy one, is curled up sound asleep with Carice's dog Looper. Both of them are curled up and sound asleep now.
That's probably for everyone's benefit.
Did they already take off?
They're walking out now.
Oh. I was like, who's being so loud?
Darian is.
Oh. Darian, you're being loud! Love you!
Love you too.
Sorry.
Phone users.
Worth it.
Love you, Darian.
I haven't DM'd in a long time, so I got a lot of spit and vinegar to get out. Welcome to your
That
death
won't slaughter
party.
my character.
Ooh. Hold on.
What am I holding on to?
Anything within reach.
Do it.
Nope.
Um,
Good enough.
Orcs.
This hallway that you see, Eric, is literally that. It is a hallway that the tunnel's about 5.5, 6 feet wide. It slants down and then it curves. There is a lit torch about 15 feet down in a sconce. About this time, as you three begin walking down the tunnel, William, you come through the door to the office to see how everyone is doing and notice the bookshelf is sideways. You have been through every nook and cranny. You helped your father build these bookshelves, and you know that you fully believe this was not here to the best of your
Chamber of
knowledge.
Secrets.
I speak parsley mouth.
Oh. Don't talk to Taya. She won't be able to breathe.
Let's see here.
Nice.
Well, trying to, considering everything that's happened, trying not to be too alarmed. I'm, let's see, who else is in this room right now?
Your mother was at Eric and Parisa's insistence is headed back to bed
Okay.
with two of the guards. Your older sister said she will stay with her, and your younger sister and the dog look very comfy. And
Who knew sleeping for 3 days could be so exhausting?
Right? You also notice that one of the three guards that's in the room that you had sent forward is now without one of their primary weapons.
Okay.
I took it from him. But
Okay.
you don't know that. You just notice he is minus a short sword.
Hey, can I have that? I took it from him.
I'm commenting that he is down a weapon.
I just...
With somebody of his stature, that would be something that they would note almost immediately.
You see what your party member tells you see.
Well, I'll just kind of glance around, kind of take in the situation, and do a little bit of a double take at the guard that's missing a short sword.
He doesn't look bothered or perturbed or anything.
Okay. Does he have another weapon?
Yes. He does in fact have...
Okay. Another primary or a secondary weapon.
He has another short sword and a polearm.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
he's...
Okay, he's good.
He is not without...
Then,
Protection.
let's see, last...
Yes, the Cuthbert family always has protection.
Obviously not. There's a lot of us.
He's got a point.
No, it just maybe they aren't using it. It doesn't mean they don't have it.
Salient point. Now, I know that Eric was headed in this direction, so knowing him to be
Oh, yes, you have
a crafty bugger.
Wait, no he doesn't.
I thought you said that he had a 15.
Oh, from when he was walking outside the grounds, and that was a 17.
And
And
she-
I already made...
I was just
No.
making sure that was...
Yes,
I'm
I
trying
did.
to be helpful.
I appreciate it.
I know, right?
Okay, so I am aware that Eric was probably headed in this direction.
Yeah, like you can see him. He just went down the hallway, and Rogath is right behind him.
The ponytail is
And-
still flapping in the wind.
Paris is behind them. Like, they're getting ready to take off down this hallway. That you're like, you walk in, you see your
Okay.
sister sleeping, your mother's headed back to bed, and you see a hole in the wall.
Wow. Okay, so I'm going to...
Hey, Father Jarity.
I'm going to... Let's see here. I had not... okay, so then I guess I'm going to take mace in hand and start advancing towards the opening. Let's see here. I'd used one first level slot and 2 second. So, does it look like there's anything in the way of illumination in there?
Yes, it looks like it is lit from where you are behind the rest of the group. You're assuming that Eric, who's in the lead, must have a torch. As you
Okay.
catch up with the group, you realize, no. Eric, you see that as this tunnel curves and slants down, roll me an intelligence.
I'm intelligent. I got a 15.
Perfect. You can make an educated gesticulation that... Was that good for you too? I thought so. That you are actually within the outside wall of Cuthbert Manor. You're not sure how.
I walked through a bookcase.
You're in a 10-foot space, and the walls are 5 foot.
You're hot.
Maybe not exactly dimensions, but yeah.
You're having some cognitive dissonance with that. But it is, and then goes down, and you can tell as it's going from stone on either side of you to earth.
Is there another torch?
There is.
Are they fairly evenly spaced?
There is a torch every roughly 30 feet
Okay. Then I am not going to worry
on
about
alternating
acquiring.
sides,
I am
of
not going to worry about
the tunnel.
acquiring one of those torches.
and they are all lit.
do they seem to be lit with magical fire? That would imply that they would be burning long term.
No evidence of that you can see by just looking at them.
I don't believe I detect magic.
Since you're just cursory examination, does it, as I'm walking by, I'll pause momentarily. Does it look like it's been burning for a while? Does it look fairly freshly lit?
They look about half burnt out.
Okay.
So you're, yeah.
As I'm making my way down
Are you walking fast?
into these subterranean
Faces past.
areas,
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
do I see any indication of prior use in this tunnel?
In what sense? I mean, the torches are lit. Someone was down here.
Gondor calls for aid.
Mars on the floor, wall, footprints, droppings, etc.
No, it looks like it's fairly well maintained, and it looks newer. It doesn't look like it doesn't feel like it's been here.
What are there tool marks of any nature?
Similar to how the earthy flaps, the Knoll birthing units, were, because I can't think of what else.
Thank you, Minnie.
The Knoll holes.
No, they were birthed from the ground.
You
popped up
it
on the
seems
snow.
recent, like they were dug out, almost like with the back of a spade.
Okay, that's
Like
the tool marking
daisies.
I was
Okay,
talking about.
I was trying to pick up what you're throwing down, but I can't see your facial expression, so I'm gonna do that so I can. Otherwise, you just look perma-grumpy without my glasses on.
Apparently I have resting bitch face.
No, there is a
said
difference.
perma-grumpy.
There is a difference between perma-grumpy and RBF. You still look grumpy with my glasses on.
Oh wow, that's grown in really good.
Yeah,
Wow.
it grew back.
Huh.
The very next day. It's the beard oil.
It's been so long since I've actually been over here gaming. It's
Mhm.
weird. It doesn't feel like it's been 2 months though.
I know. So, following the tunnel, I'm looking for indication of passage, of usage, of creatures, of anything other than the fact that we're walking down a hallway.
The ground is very well packed, and so it's not showing. You can tell that there have been people walking back and forth, but nothing definitive. I mean, there's no like outlines of boot prints. It's hard packed ground. I mean, unless someone was wearing cleats or like digging their heels into the dirt, it's not gonna show markings. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So is the way that this tunnel, is this made up more like kind of like a mine would have been, or is this actually stonework?
Yes.
Or-
It was stonework. You felt like you were within the wall of Cuthbert Manor. And then it went down, and then the walls turned to earth on the side. And
Gotcha.
you go about, you feel like you've gone a good 100 yards. And then, Eric, your being of the ranger nature and just of the suspicious nature that you are, you start to get a hinky feeling. And with your passive and you being in the lead, you see that this dirt is no longer hard packed, and there are etchings in the dirt and on the sides of the walls, right before the next torch sconce.
Okay. What do I notice about them?
It looks like glyphs.
Okay.
And roll me a con save.
Three.
For a brief moment, you look at these glyphs and the world spins. And you get flashes of being inside a mansion and a crossbow bolt firing out a door. and you hollering about something about traps, and that's not how that should work. And then you get another flash of this cone of ice coming out of a dragon statue, and another flash of a staircase going flat and coming back, and then you're back in the tunnel staring at the glyphs.
It's a trap.
4 letters, TRAPS. Worth it.
But they're just carved in the dirt.
Yeah, it looks like someone almost took a stick and went, but the lines are very precise.
Grab my sword and just.
You're sticking your sword forward or through the glyph?
I'm scratching out the glyph.
Oh, how did that work?
Before.
He's in the lead. He's just.
The glyphs that were on the trees, once I destroyed the glyphs, it caused the doors to become permanently open. That's where my brain went.
That's fair.
As you do that to the glyph, for a moment, nothing happens. There's that, well, that didn't work the way I want. And the walls start to shake and tremble. And the ground starts to, it feels like a very low grade earthquake.
It's a 1.2.
You don't even
That
feel
is
1.2.
slowly starting to build.
That's not
And the other glyphs that were on the sides briefly flash and disappear. And briefly flash and disappear.
Can I see what they are as they flash?
As they flash, roll me Arcana.
I had a
Go ahead.
18 for my roll, I think. Let me look.
It was up there.
It's either a 17 or 18.
It was over a 15, so yes.
It was a 17 and my Arcana is 1, so 18.
You recognize these, Parisa.
Oh, shoot.
You've seen wardens use these to set traps to guard holy places. You know that they are set to eliminate intruders. From this, you also know trying to go back is bad and you should run.
I will tell people this. Run now. And
I will run my sword around all of the glyphs and cut them off.
As they're flashing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna start running.
I'll put my bag. I'll get thin so they can get by me, but I'm going to destroy all of the glyphs.
Okay. A couple of them have already flashed, but you destroy most of them.
Okay.
Parisa, you run. Rogath and William, what are you? You saw Eric destroying glyphs with his sword, then Parisa went, run now, and bolts.
And she's running forward, deeper into the...
I got thin
Yes.
as she ran by me.
The ground
Okay.
shaking is beginning to intensify.
Well, I follow at a brisk pace, and
As I go by, I am going to cast Longstrider at level 2
Okay.
on William and Rogath, so they get an extra 10 feet of movement.
ooh,
Nice.
that
Thank
is
you.
awesome.
Rogath, what is your response?
Well, I trust the lady, so I start booking it.
Alright, the three of you guys start blasting down the tunnel. Eric, they have ran past you.
As soon as they are at least 10 feet away from me, and I know all three of them are past me and 10 feet away, I will start moving behind them. If I see any further glyphs, I am going to scratch them out as well.
Okay, you do not see any further glyphs. However, as you're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, as you turn to follow them, you see back down the tunnel and see that the second torch back poofs out.
God, I'm just trying to think if things are collapsing or if it's Indiana Jones and there's a giant boulder rolling towards us.
Why not both?
I feel like there's a giant boulder rolling towards us.
Why not both?
Let's go all the way.
So you guys are booking it.
I'm not too concerned yet.
And you hear the coming from behind you.
Do I know what that sound is?
It sounds like earth thudding heavily upon more earth.
Oh.
And you've made some good dashes. Your lungs are starting to burn a little bit, and then you see what looks like the ground ramping up and solid earth meeting it again. But you see very familiar looking glyphs, the same ones that were on the other knoll holes, on either side.
Open sesame!
Brian!
And it does, in fact, open. And
Now, mind you, that technically shouldn't have worked unless you know Infernal.
Okay, fine. I'm going to use my skills as an ambassador of learning new languages to attempt to recreate the noises that were coming out of your mouth when it worked the first time.
you know what? Roll me performance. I like that.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Ain't no one understand the words that are coming out of your mouth.
That would be a total of 18. I rolled a 17.
Nice.
You speak Infrabyssal better than the native Infrabyssal speaker, and the door, again, does in fact open for you.
I'm very good at rolling my R's. I'm not,
Yeah.
but you know.
Let's hear, no, you gotta prove it. Prove it right now.
No, I'm really.
Ruffles have ridges.
I cannot roll my R's at all.
Arrrr.
No.
You gotta try.
Nope.
It's a skill you're gonna need.
I can't. Like, I physically cannot.
You take your tongue and you go blah, 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 with it, but inside your mouth.
I can't.
Arrrr.
I can't. Like, I literally cannot.
Just flap your tongue up and down really fast
No.
and say R at the same time.
Okay.
What? This is important life lesson.
My character is about to get crushed by Earth.
No, I'm okay with this.
She already threatened to kill me, so we're in the
Yeah,
same boat
it's
apparently.
What could the two of you
Yeah,
have
no.
in common that would make me want to? Never mind. So you guys make it out.
I think we should leave.
Aaron's safe so far.
Oh yeah, hi, Rogan. How are you?
I'm just.
I'm missing this.
You guys make it out of the tunnel, and sure enough, Eric, you barely get out, and
Once they're clear,
yes.
I'm going to use one of my charges on my ring to shadow step and catch up to them.
Perfect. You are out and you look back in time to watch the tunnel go doo, doo, doo. But there is no evidence from above that a tunnel has collapsed. There's no sink in the ground. There's no... It's almost as if the dirt has magically reappeared and filled in the tunnel.
Once we are clear of danger, I will, with very much probably panting, explain that those glyphs were something that my people, I would guess,
Yes.
have used to protect holy places.
Yep. And it's a little troublesome for you.
Why would your people be sneaking into the Pittsburgh house?
I don't know.
Speaking of which, how far away are we from the household here?
Yeah.
As you guys come out and look around, there's some trees around you, and you walk a little distance and look, and sure enough, so here's the Cuthbert Manor, here's the wall around it. It's kind of up on a hill a little bit, and the tree line has been cleared back from it because military family, they know their tactics. You guys are about 10 to 15 yards inside the tree line.
So, could we make an educated guess that was a escape route?
Possibly an escape route or an entrance.
Or an infiltration route.
I
Right.
honestly don't think it was an escape route, as it used the infernal runes to open and close the doorway, like all of the other copses that we had to fight infernal things in.
That's fair, but the other arcane runes are of Loxley origin, correct?
Yes, and that trips your trigger a little bit because those runes were specifically warden runes. The only Loxlies that know how to create these runes are wardens.
That would just mean that the wardens are starting to be taken over by these infernal creatures. They aren't so pure.
I look a little
You can hit him,
nervous.
like you can do that.
I am a warden.
Okay. You don't speak
I think
for all
it's
of them.
I think it's safe to say that I don't believe that anybody at this point in time is safe.
I don't think we are going to find any answers to these questions until we find Benjamin Cuthbert.
Ironically enough, you guys are in the direction of Fort Calyx. Like, here's the manor. It's cleared around it. It came up in the direction of Fort Calyx.
So do we want to attempt to head towards the fort tonight, or...
It'd be a shame if we
Went the other direction.
didn't listen.
Let's see here. So
I don't care which way you guys go.
we're,
Hey, Joe, is that a
we're
second
outside right now?
Yes, you are
It looks like
outside
an 8.
this tunnel. You believe that your father is being held captive in the dungeons at Fort Calyx. That's not confirmed. It's something that when you gently interrogated last session.
Yeah.
Look, Sir Osric, an evildoer.
Well, and Fort Calyx is approximately.
I know what we should do.
Yeah.
How far of a journey is Fort Calyx from
We need to head
the
back.
estate?
From
about-
the Cuthbert Manor,
Yeah, that's
you are half day's ride.
okay.
We need to go back and grab our horses because we have horses that have zephyr shoes that make us really fast.
It is.
I was going to
also
say,
Go ahead.
I can run back for the horses real quick if we decide to go tonight.
We go grab the horses and head to Calyx.
How far away is Fort Calyx?
Half a day's ride.
Really? Okay.
Or not quite half a day. It's
I'd say that seems like
it's like 3.5 4 hours. By half a day I mean like the 8 hour.
yeah. That just seems like kind of a far distance away for the people who are in charge of Fort Calyx.
Well, if people are serving at Fort Calyx, they're stationed there. The Cuthbert home is like Benjamin Cuthbert doesn't run Fort Calyx.
Oh, okay. I apologize. That was my mistake then.
Okay. And that could have been a misspeak on my part too. Heaven knows I've had a few of them this campaign.
It's okay.
It's the writers of the module need a firm talking to.
So we have
I will
horses
have a
back-
very firm conversation with them in private later.
We have our horses back at the manor, so why don't we grab those and head out?
Okay.
If I'm talking to myself now, can I call it a parent-teacher conference?
Yes.
Yes.
So wait. So it's
So.
although it's evening, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it was evening. It was getting pretty late when you guys got to the Cuthbert Manor. It was already dark. And then you guys had a fight with a doppelganger and found this out.
Do we want to wait till morning?
I
Excuse
plan on
me.
heading out there anyhow, at the very least, to scout.
Okay, I'm just wondering how safe it would be traveling, knowing that there are ogres and trolls and
I've
whatnot
avoided them
around.
once before.
Here's what.
Eric seems very confident in any situation.
Uh,
But that is part of his personality.
as much as I want to go try and find my father, I think it would probably behoove us to get at least a little bit of rest and prepare a little bit more. Eric, if you want to go scouting, at least, a couple miles out or something, and see what the...
I figured if it's only a 3-hour ride, I can ride out there, hide the horse, scout the area, camp out with my horse. I'll leave a couple of marks along the way so you guys can follow me. I had done this before with you, Cuthbert. I had left that mark
Okay.
on various trees and whatnot.
Let me make a note of that real quick. So.
Yeah. It's when you were being NPC'd, I believe. But you and Eric had a
Okay.
understanding of sorts that he knows what you're good at, you know what he's good at, and as long as you guys stick to what you're good at, you're okay with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you don't tell me what to do, I won't tell you what to do, and we'll both get along fine.
Fine,
It's
you're
like
not,
living with me.
you're not part of the military, right?
Right.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Wah-wah.
So,
I'm
why
of
don't,
two minds of the subject. I mean, as far as that goes, we don't know if those two had to return at some point in time, so there might be an element of time that's not in our favor, even more so than it is right now. The other aspect is, like you said, we may need some rest before and prepare. So,
William is of the position that, taking at least some time to rest and prepare, everybody be better able to deal with whatever comes up. This is pretty serious stuff here. There was an unknown to me passage that was led directly into the family manor. A doppelganger. This is pretty serious stuff as far as William is concerned. So
Doppelganger is not something you're familiar with. It's a lot of the creatures that have been popping up have been things of lore. It would be the equivalent of, an ember sprite or something coming out of the fire pit while we were sitting around it. I
blame Eric. He broke the timeline.
I did.
So yeah.
Damn it, Eric.
So Eric's gonna go scout. Parisa, what do you want to do?
I think it would be best. I mean, if your father is in the dungeons in Fort Calyx, then at the very least he shouldn't be in any danger, correct?
You guys aren't sure. The only indication you have was that his name was in that book as incorruptible. And everyone else's name who was in that book that was noted as incorruptible is dead. The only other one that was incorruptible that was not was Isa. The bear Loxley. Laundress. Thank you.
Laundress.
Thank you! Lots of cows! And bases!
So, if Father's marked incorruptible anyway, they're either going to hold on to him in hopes of trying to get further information out of him, or use him as a hostage, leverage, whatever, or he's already had his throat cut. So taking a little extra time, I don't think is going to particularly change much of the immediate future insofar as 24 hours is concerned. So
They
let's...
were already past the first 48. Well,
Parisa watches crime shows.
So
Once 2 sundials pass, we don't search for the hostages anymore.
I will grab my horse,
Sorry.
and I will need a darker cloak.
if my house has a darker cloak that would accommodate him,
I mean,
absolutely take it.
Cuthbert Manor has an armory of its own, but it's small.
Okay.
Think of this reference probably won't help you. It's like Winterfell. For whoever that makes sense to, it's got its own stable. It's its own functioning manor. It has its own stable. It has its own. It has roughly 50 men at arms.
Okay, there's plenty.
Is there a pencil hiding over there? I knew I had one.
Yep.
Now, granted, some of those men at arms are from Fort Calyx that get relieved. As far as men at arms that the Cuthbert Manor that is their personal men at arms, it's about 25.
That's
But
good
still,
size.
it's a functioning manor.
That's a good size. So yeah, there'd be.
If I might make a suggestion,
All I need is that. Everything else I need is.
Yeah,
all.
Rogan?
Perfect.
you might wish to protect your women folk with a password of some sort, so that they know who they have guarding them.
Rule 44?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes! The fact that you got that makes me so happy. Rule 44. Just tell them, Rule 44!
No clue what that.
Dragon Scales in chat. If anyone in chat can tell me what that means.
What? 100 arms. Oh gosh, what?
I have no clue.
I'm pretty sure I remember which one that is.
But so Rogoth, you are suggesting that there be some kind of password?
Yes, if we're dealing with shapeshifters that can take the form of your father or anybody else that they trust, I would suggest that we don't leave them utterly defenseless.
I have heard rumors that these creatures of no longer myth are able to capture a victim's mind.
And I was just going to ask, would that be something I'm aware of?
Yes, that is something,
Okay.
Eric, you are more familiar and you would know that for certain. William, it would make sense for you to have read that and now you're questioning what's real, what's not from what you've read. Eric, you know that is a fact.
I can confirm your suspicion.
Okay.
These creatures are capable of pulling memories from their victims' minds.
That could cause a bit of a problem.
So a
then.
password would not work.
So I'm sure there's a seneschal, a captain of the guard, a
Yes.
trusted. Okay.
The fact that you said the word seneschal correctly makes me happy and warm.
So
Speak to me with your wise English ways. Okay. It's been a while since I've been in the DM chair, guys. You're gonna have to give it a minute.
so I want to take and go speak with the seneschal and just make sure that he and I are on the same page.
And he does tell you that multiple people had reported that they felt your father was acting strangely, and they've been on more high alert even with each other since, and will continue to do so even more now.
Okay.
So that does put you a little bit at ease.
Okay, good. And then, unless anybody else has anything else that they want to do, Eric, grab the cloak, head off.
I will be gone as soon as I get on my horse's back.
Okay.
Now, you and I have those sending stones too, so we can actually
If I get in
communicate.
trouble, I will call you.
Okay. And then, after making sure that mother and sisters are
You have 4G, it's good.
Awesome.
As long as it's not 5G, right?
making sure that mother and
Kill
sisters
Erebus.
are
Kill Erebus.
safe and asleep, I will retire for the night.
Okay, you're just gonna crash. You're keeping a sending stone under your pillow?
Well, on my nightstand.
Yes! You set the sending stone to vibrate while you sleep.
There we go.
So yes, I will take my horse and I will ride in the direction of Calyx. I will be stopping a half mile
Okay.
from Calyx and hiding the horse,
Okay.
and then making the last stretch by foot.
Okay. Recalculating. Hold on. DM timeline.
You crashing for the night too? You crashing for the night too at that point?
Yeah, I will. But I only have to meditate for 4 hours. So after that, I would probably,
Make tea. Something.
Some chamomile so that you're relaxed.
Oh!
I'm gonna hurt you.
Chamomile.
That's
No.
almost as bad as the people who call it chamomile. Would you like some chamomile tea?
Well, supposedly. Anyway.
Those people need to be dumped into the Boston Harbor.
Anyway.
The Massachusetts?
Anyway. We digress.
We do.
So,
For all
Rogath.
intensive purposes?
No.
So,
I'm gonna have fun, damn it. You
Rogan.
can't stop me.
Yes, sir.
Rogath, are you then crashing for the night, or do you need some, anything from the Cuthbert family supplies?
I don't believe so. I am going to study those creatures a little closer, and before we completely dispose of them, I suggest a fire.
Excellent.
Do you want to give me the sending stone since I only have to take a 4-hour rest?
Sure, that's fine.
Because that would be about the time that you would be getting into position. So if there is any issues,
That
I'll
sounds
be
good.
awake.
Malachite sending stone. You want to make a note?
You sure it's not
Ooh.
malachite?
Does your family by any chance have a bag of caltrops I might be able to buy?
What is with the stop ball bearings? You're okay, never mind.
No,
So
I
you're
have
good.
ball bearings. I have all the ball bearings.
No, you've used some.
You should have 976 left.
No, because you let me buy more.
That's
I have
right.
1,000 again.
No! Why? Why do I love you with my stupid, passionate, non-reciprocal love? Alright, yeah, you get what you need. You guys crash. That looked painful.
Chipped over 1, 2 feet.
No, it looked like your toe caught the chair.
Before I absolutely retire for the night, I do want to go to the little household shrine of Hylor and do my evening prayers.
Okay. Roll me religion, actually.
Alright, let's see how the dice are doing tonight.
Not bad.
Not bad. 18.
I just wanted to share some love.
18.
18.
You lose yourself in prayer.
Okay.
Everything you've known, the foundation of your life has been
Share some love.
attacked. Everything was fine. There's always been a lot of pressure on you as the oldest son to kind of handle things. You went to...
Hey, Mom. Happy early Mother's Day. I got you a butt mask. And for both of us, we got you a foot massage.
Oh my gosh,
Think dumb, he paid. Enjoy your butt
And
mask.
that has now been forever.
Immortalized on the interwebs.
Yes. Here, Mom, we got you a butt mask.
Hold on, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. I need to go hug my kids.
Oh my God. Oh, that's what we need to do. Hey, Darian. We need to stop by Walmart super quick in the morning before we go to church. So I can get my mom a butt mask for Mother's Day. I think she'd appreciate that. Oh. Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, so if we get a good night's sleep, my Scott's back.
The butt mask made me lol so much.
Oh my gosh.
And she just declared it out for everyone. Too. I got
It has been forever immortalized on the internet.
I'm okay with this. Yeah, I was so focused on making stuff for Mom for Mother's Day, I forgot I get Mother's Day too. I got a butt mask, you guys. Hey Joe, where do you want it? And
Where's my butt mask?
ooh,
I'm kidding.
you look like a really good bath bombs.
I'm not
Okay.
your mother. You don't need to get me a present
Okay.
for Mother's Day.
Do you want to
I'm teasing you, sweetie.
And I watched the panic.
I know. It was great.
Here.
Joe, I love you. Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
How do we continue from butt mask? I mean,
I didn't hear a thing. I went.
You were lost in prayer and butt mask happened.
no, Kiwi.
You can have them.
I was praying and then I
Don't.
fell asleep.
I'm
So
confused. Don't.
Kiwi.
You do, in fact, fall asleep while praying. However, you feel a presence behind you and to your left a little bit. And you rise up and turn your head, and your father is standing there.
okay.
Um,
Am
The
I?
last thing you do is you knelt to pray.
Okay.
did he go down to the river though?
So I see
He
my
was
father
studying
standing
about
there.
that
Does this appear to be some kind of apparition or something? What's
The last thing you knew is you knelt to pray, and then you felt a presence.
Okay. So turning and I see him standing there. What's he look like? Does he look
He's
healthy?
in
Does he
his-
look tired? Does he look?
He looks like he did at the peak of your fondest memories with him.
Okay. So I know that's probably not actually
William.
him physically standing there. So,
Ian
I
has
have
bandaged again.
never been more proud of you.
Thank you for the host.
Thanks,
Forgive-
Thank you for the host.
forgive me, Father, but what are you doing here?
I don't have much time, but by the grace of Lady Marasa, I was able to see you once more. There is honor that runs deep in our family, and none of it was lost upon my death. Our enemy knows no more from taking me as before they did. Trust no one. The traveling companions you are with, I believe, are steadfast.
They're good people.
There is dissension even among the gods themselves. That much I have been able to glean in my passing. The fort is being infiltrated, and all I know is the source of this evil is stemming from the void of the gods. And it is growing. My life is the first of many to be lost. But we are Cuthberts. We will be on the front line, and we will hold it. I know! Stop! Your face is making me cry!
You're the one who's pulling out the stops on this.
Father, it is with great sorrow that I hear of your passing. It is with great pride that I hold the Cuthbert name. You have had a good and noble life. You have died a soldier's death, and you will be honored.
The greatest honor I have is seeing the man that you turned out to be.
I will make certain that justice will be meted out.
If you get a few grandkids along the way, I won't complain either.
Does he actually say that?
Oh, hell yeah. He's a Cuthbert. And it's, you realize it's that tension breaker, it's that zinger, it's something as much of a serious military man as your father was. Every once in a while, like that was your guys' inside joke, is at some point he would give you guff that you were too serious, too emotionless and flat affect to ever settle down. So that's, you know, it's not a figment of your imagination.
I will raise an eyebrow. I will smirk ever so slightly. And then I'll close my eyes and nod. And
when you open your eyes again, you are kneeling in front of the shrine of Hylor.
I'm going to bend down and kiss the base of the shrine. Thank the gods for having the opportunity to speak with my father one last time. And I will then begin an oath, and I will repeat the oath over and over and over again until I actually pass out. And the oath is that by all that is holy and just, I will make sure that justice is brought upon the malefactors.
Ooh, somebody's going to become a cleric.
You do in fact pass out. And Roguth, I need you to roll me a religion. And then I will get to you, Eric.
You're going to end up becoming a cleric of, what's his name?
Corindor?
Corindor, not Hylor. That would make some, like, that shift. That would, sorry, DM.
What'd you get, Roguth?
DM brain.
That would be a dirty 20.
Ooh, nice. Roguth, you, oddly enough, you were sound asleep after looking over these corpses, and vaguely you feel the presence of your goddess, and you hear the name Cuthbert, and you are instantly wide awake. You are fully rested. You have all the benefits of a long rest, but you know you have not slept that long. And you feel the need to seek out William Cuthbert.
I get up and head towards where I last saw him with all haste.
As you are donning your clothes, you happen to kind of glance out the window, and it just so happens that your window oversees the garden, where there is the garden niche and the shrine to Hylor, and you see William Cuthbert kneeling there. Or passed out there, rather.
I finish putting on my clothes as quickly as possible and run down there because I don't know if he's passed out or whatnot.
He will appreciate you not being pantsless upon your arrival. Although, if you are, might I recommend the spot mask?
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Interesting product placement.
Actually, in this case, yes.
Is this before or after?
I found a body!
Is this before or after?
This is
visiting?
after. This
Okay.
is after your occurrence,
Okay.
and
I just want to know what my likely state of mind is.
yeah, Roguth comes down, and you, as his footfalls approach, you wake up, and you also feel as if you have had the benefit of a long rest.
Okay.
Damn.
Reminder for long rests in Nerevis, you get one. You don't automatically get everything back on a long rest. You get a full hit die plus your con mod, and then you get half your hit dice back. With the amount of combat that you guys have been through, honestly, I think you guys are back to having everything at this point.
Yes.
Except me, we'll get to you.
Almost.
You're special. I like to torment you personally.
I'm almost back to full.
Do you know that I love you?
I only need 2 more. I'm good. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So, William.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Kagome!
Twiz, I still have the clip where you did the sexy Mew.
Yes!
What?
We'll pull it up after.
Yeah.
Quick reminder for everyone who's in chat now, we are not taking a break at 8 o'clock. We will be going to about 8:30 and we will be calling it for a night because life and people and my extrovert self needs people. I'm dying. That is all.
To clarify, she is not literally physically dying.
As an extrovert, I can confirm that yes, like literally dying.
You don't know me?
But butt mask.
Spiritually.
I'm with you, Sam.
These introverts don't know what they're talking about.
Right? No kidding. So, hey, Lawful Square Bear.
What makes you think I'm an introvert?
Well, he is.
Let me count the way.
Alright.
You're an extroverted introvert.
Let's do this thing.
Now?
I dropped dice. No,
You hear footfalls approaching William.
Okay.
And you begin to stir. Rogith, you do see that William is in fact moving. Like your approach has awoken him.
Oh.
You have a half-dressed paladin of Marasa approaching. He has a sexy voice.
Are you alright, my friend?
Sexy paladin. A sexy paladin.
I will groggily acknowledge him, kind of raise my hand as I'm kind of lifting myself up off of the ground, and
I'll be up.
there might be a little drool, you know. I was sleeping pretty soundly there,
Nanny?
and okay, there was a lot of drool. There's a puddle beside my face. And
Goes with this ball.
yeah, pretty much. So I will stir. I will acknowledge. Kind of raise my hand. Do the whole. And Rogith,
Yes.
is it morning?
Well, actually, that's a good question. Is it morning?
No, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning. 3:30.
If by morning you
3:30-ish.
mean very, very early, then yes. But the sun has yet to rise.
Have you managed to get any sleep yet?
Some, but I feel quite rested. I sensed a disturbance and thought to check in on you.
In the forest.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
That's why there was a pause here.
I was in prayer and I spoke with my father.
Your father?
He is no longer alive.
I'm sorry to hear that, my friend.
And but I feel even more dedicated to the cause of justice in this instance.
Justice or vengeance?
I am, shall we say, highly motivated. My resolve is absolute. So you felt a disturbance. Where do you know the nature of the disturbance, the location?
No, other than it was centered around you. I felt something from my goddess. It made me aware that something wasn't right. And
At that point, I would immediately like to kind of, scan the surrounding area and let my eyes adjust, kind of look around. This is a little courtyard, like.
Yeah, it's a garden niche.
Okay.
So it's within the walls.
Is there much moonlight tonight?
You know what? Hold that thought.
When the moon hits your eye like a big that's
Amore. This is why we can't have nice things, chat, and it's okay. Wait, what?
The eel. Moray eel.
Oh, shocking.
Wrong eel.
Yep.
Sorry.
You're not wrong, but my puns.
It was a bit of a stretch, though.
It was elastic. Rogoth and William, you both feel like you're being watched, but you don't see anything. Marisa!
Okay.
You are meditating. You are in the reverie, as it were, getting your 4 hours of rest.
Am I in the dream?
Yes, you see the pale tree. Rip. Too soon. It is bothering you. The fact that there were Loxley warden sigils in this tunnel are bothering you. And you can't help but run it in your mind over and over and over. And then it hits you and you open your eyes. You were rested, but you feel like you had a little divine nudge in the right direction. When William and Rogoth and Morwen had been reading the names out of the books that you found in the shelters, one of the names jumped out at you.
Okay.
Bark, Barque.
Okay. Wait, sorry. Hold on. BARQUE.
Yep. Yep.
I wrote bark.
As in wolf.
Yes, as in BARK. And I wrote it in my mind, but wait, that's not what she said. It's been a long day, okay?
And here, I was thinking Bart's root beer.
Okay, so bark. Woof woof.
Rufin. RUFIN.
And no, it wasn't planned. You guys made it awkward. Bark woofing. Bark woofing.
It's gonna get worse now. Because this was a young man that stumbled into Loxley territory, who was a human, and lived and trained with the Loxlies and became a warden.
Bart Griffin is a warden.
He did not learn everything. He began to show signs of aggression. He was more of instead of the ambassador, your mom going to Silas as an ambassador, he was more of, no, we shouldn't be treated as outsiders. We have a right. We're people just as much as the humans are people. Let's show them might of arms. We don't need to keep listening to the dwarves mock us from across the way. It's, let's get our bows and show them how soft the nature really is.
He went native, but in a whole weird sense.
Yes. So he was asked to leave.
You mean like how some people are suggested that maybe they want to put their 2-week notice in before they get fired?
Yeah. That's actually really good. It's not you, it's me. We're just going in a different direction. Whatever. You're a really nice girl. You'll make someone happy someday.
Okay, we don't need to get personal with it. Come on.
I know the standard breakup lines. I wasn't trying. I love you.
Wait, are you breaking up with me?
I'll get you some chocolate ice cream.
Okay.
I didn't know. Not mine. It's in the freezer. The rubber's mine. It's not you. It's just that Allie and.
I watched both Allie and Jerry go, huh? Meerkats.
I've been trying to find a way to tell you. I know you're bored. I'm sorry. No, I'm not breaking up with you. Okay. But it was strongly hinted and made clear that he was no longer welcome. Mm-hmm. And you're like, for some reason, that jumps to the front of your mind. Eric, you parked your horse in the horse parking zone.
Hey, you double parked your horse. Why'd you double park your camel? It's blocking the street. Not cool, man. Not cool.
I'm trying really hard.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna get so much trouble.
I don't care. We're having fun. I don't care. You reach the fort. It is about 3:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. You have hidden your not double parked horse. The road is not blocked. No one is giving you guff. The blacksmithing brothers from Silas are not there to tell you about the filigree. The fort seems oddly quiet. You can see the fort. You see guards posted there. You see a patrol going by every few minutes, but it feels off. Your hinky senses are tingling.
With my understanding,
and there's a blue call box.
With my understanding of the undead and critters of the night in that nature, I am going to walk the perimeter.
Okay.
Paying close attention to how they're acting and moving about to see if there's any indication that some, if not all of these things, are not as they appear.
One of these things is not like
They all seem to be human. You don't see anything to suggest that they are not. That you don't see evidence of what you're looking for. And as you're but something feels off as you're watching them.
No, I'm pulling an Aragorn. I'm pulling a Frodo in the Sands of Mordor. I've got that cloak pulled up so that I look like once I stop, I'm trying to blend into the darkness without being a shadow in the black.
Yes. You are doing. Roll me a stealth just for shiggles.
You're actually wearing nighttime colors instead of black.
And roll it as advantage. You don't roll at advantage.
Okay.
And sometimes darker gray.
Black on black on black, with an accent of black.
At advantage. Well, my lowest roll was an 18. My highest roll was a 28.
Well, he rolled a 20.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm moving about pretty well.
Yeah.
Did I scare a mongoose?
No, you're not the only one who rolled 20.
Cool.
You, out of the corner of your eye, all of a sudden realize you hear breathing. There's someone next to you.
Okay.
And as you look over, about 3 feet to your right, you see a familiar figure. Barefoot. You're not sure how the guards haven't seen her, as her chemise is quite white.
Same one that was
in the field.
farm field.
Hair spilling over her shoulder, and she turns and looks at you, and I need you to make... Are you doing heavy breathing, really?
You're doing Vader breath.
Oh, just wait. I know where you sleep. Make me a charisma save.
Crap, and she has a key to my house, so that would work. Crap.
I don't need a key.
Good thing I have a decently high charisma. 20.
20.
Yes.
Nice. Please hold.
The lady that was attacked by assassins.
No, this one is from. I haven't explained this one to you.
No,
You don't know
he
her.
was... Yeah, well...
I have not explained this encounter with you before.
I have a feeling when Eric gets back, you guys will have an
definitely having a
in-character...
conversation about this because twice is not just weird. Twice is weird.
And you find yourself struggling. She's beautiful. It is the curve of her collarbone, the way her hair's falling over her shoulder, the way she's looking at you. You're starting to forget why you're in the woods, what that fort is, why does it matter, and you become more and more focused on her. Roll me percentile, please.
86.
86.
Nice. Hopefully
You see her uncork a vial and offer it to you with this sweet look, and it seems like the best gift you've ever received.
Okay.
And you feel the overwhelming urge to drink the contents of this vial.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid!
And as you're reaching for it, you feel a voice in your head. His heart is spoken for. And you hear it in a voice that you recognize but can't place. As out of nowhere, Nerevis dive bombs beak first into this woman, and she disperses in a cloud of what looks like mist, but glittering bright mist. The vial falls to the ground, and you watch as everything, the liquid that seeps out from the uncorked vial touches, instantly withers.
I'm going to pout.
The apparition's
Actually,
gone.
I am going to grab that vial as fast as possible and see if I can save some of that liquid.
You know, roll me a dex. Roll me a dex save.
I'm not going to pout. I'm going to opportunistic this.
Yes!
Is
Another
it?
nat 20.
Good
24.
Good God.
No, save.
Save 26.
Quit helping him! You...
I'll make it up to you later.
You're making it up to me now.
Why are you staring at me? It's creepy. Ben.
I got you, bud.
Quick, now pull up
I'm creeped out.
You managed to get this vial with a quarter of the contents still in it. I mean, like, it's a wide open vial, and it went sploot, and you went...
Mine. Pretty good. I know I'm
And
not lucky.
you see Nerevis laying on the ground, breathing heavy. She does not appear to be bleeding or wounded, but it seems like she's struggling for breath.
I am going to lift her up and coddle her.
The
And
beak.
look her over.
She looks fine, but her eyes are not. Her eyes are kind of dull, and her little bird heart is going.
As opposed to normal.
Right. With my having been around animals for a while, would I be able to do any type of...
You'd believe that she is absolutely and fully exhausted.
Okay.
The only thing that you've seen close was a bird that was being fed too long and did not migrate. And the winter came down and there's the lights around, but there's nothing left. It's as if everything in her has been completely expended.
I'm going to grab...
And the best you can tell, the bird seems concerned for you.
I'm going to grab one of my spare shirts out of my pack.
Okay.
Wrap it up, and then look for the nearest tree with a decent size.
You find one not very...
And I'm going to place her in it for the moment. Don't go anywhere.
And
I have to finish my rounds.
You can tell, like, she keeps trying to lift her head to...
No.
But exhaustion is too much.
And I don't have anything to give her at the moment, so it's literally just stay here. I will be right back.
Poor Cosmo.
Aww.
Jane doesn't like me tonight.
Aww. You know what? I think it was 2 or 3 streams ago. I did the run every single time it popped, and I lost every single time. I lost over 4,000 dragon scales in one night.
Oof.
Yeah. And I wasn't betting heavy either.
Mm-hmm.
As you go to, look back at the fort, you see that some of the guards are drinking water and splashing it on their faces and shaking their head, and they're moving more normally now. Their movements do not you realize it didn't stick out at first, but their movements seemed stiff and a little automated. Like they were on autopilot. Like, what's it called? I just lost it. It's a psych term. When you drive from point A to B, but you don't remember the drive there because your brain's on autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
Road hypnotism?
Dissociation type thing? Or
What'd you say, Robith?
Road hypnotism?
Yes. Yeah, they were on route. They were...
Yep.
Round hypnotism! That's what we're calling it.
Highway hypnosis.
Yes.
I'm going to continue.
Okay.
And finish my round. Still looking for anything that looks completely out of place.
When you get to the back side of Fort Calyx, you notice there are 3 very, very large fires going. And these fires are made up of a lot of bodies. And they're not human! You found a body. You found lots of bodies. There are... You recognize them as goblins, orcs, and ogres. And something that looks like a frail old woman that gives you shivers down your spine.
Is anybody tending the fires?
Yes, there are a couple guards tending the fires, and at least one guard by each fire is on guard, like watching the fire, almost as if they expect something to come back out of it.
Yikes.
They look a little shaken. It's the attitude at the back of the fort is completely different from the attitude at the front of the fort. They look a little traumatized back here. You have a feeling if you made noise, they would shoot with their longbows first and ask questions later.
Mm-hmm. I don't intend on making any noises. Right now, I'm trying to get a feel for what's going on out here so that when I communicate with them...
Right, no. I'm trying to set the scene for you, love.
Yep. I don't intend on making any noise. I want to finish the round back to the front of Fort Calyx.
Okay.
And then check on Erebus.
Is
she sleeping?
Yes.
Good.
Like, we're talking dead to the world. She's alive, she's breathing, but it's complete and total exhaustion. You're pretty sure you could do, like, the squishy face thing to her with a bird face as much as you could, or, like, make her wings flap and go, whoa, I'm a raven. She wouldn't wake up.
Okay.
I don't know if you needed that
So-
explanation,
so-
but
so
I
what-
felt compelled.
What Dom and Allie were doing to Jimmy this morning.
At that point in time, I am going to pull out the writ of Benjamin Cuthbert,
Okay.
and I'm going to approach the front gate.
Okay. They do see you coming, and
I'm going to keep everything low. I'm not going to drop the cloak and walk up open.
okay, you're staying hidden.
I am going to keep the cloak down, and I'm going to walk up as an unknown traveler.
Okay. The second you get within eyesight, halt! State your business.
Just traveling, needed a place to stay.
Just traveling. Where are you bound?
I am bound for the Cuthbert estate. I found myself here first.
Where did you come from?
I was scouting some rumors in the swamp of nasty creatures starting to move more.
Ah! You are, part of Isa's contingent then.
I am for hire. I am beholden to none.
And the two of them begin to approach you. We have quarters, but we've had a bit of trouble here tonight. Do you have any proof?
Well, I was sent this direction to speak with Benjamin Cuthbert. As rumor has it, he was looking for some assistance with this problem in and of itself.
He was. We got word from the manor a week back that he'd gone to the capital.
Well, that is interesting. How goes it here at the fort? Being so close to the swamp, it must be interesting.
It's been... Have you eaten yet?
It's been quite some time.
Come in. They seem to have kind of... What you're saying matches up with what they know. So they're not being very...
Almost like Eric pays attention.
You almost feel a little bad.
No, I feel perfectly good at this one. I didn't have to use the writ and give myself away.
Because I love you.
But yeah, I will enter. I do not wish to spend the evening here. I will join you for a moment. I'm just, as I said, passing through to the estate.
You said you were looking for a place to spend the night, but a moment ago.
I did. However, I'm not too keen of staying at a fort. Military and I never really did mesh well.
The ponytail?
That too.
Ah. My wife always wanted me to grow one of those. Something about needing beard oil. So he has a... Sorry, not sorry.
Dom's asleep.
He offers you some food and says, if we have a contingency going to the Cuthbert estate in the morning, we should have a caravan coming by here either tomorrow or the next day. I know you don't want to stay, but if...
I have my horse out in the forest. I have a small camp set up. I smelt something strange this direction, so I was concerned.
The fires.
The fires.
There's been... And he motions for you to come up on the wall, and we'll walk you around. And through the crenellations, you can see the fires even better.
That is a strange bonfire.
2 nights past, there was an onslaught. It's been dead quiet since. It's not unusual for us to see the occasional critter, but these things are the stuff of nightmares. Things that our wet nurses told us about when we were young.
The swamp breeds many a dangerous creature.
I've never seen anything like this. These things were rumored. Some of them we can't even identify. We have specimens down below, but we've had...
May I see them?
Oh, I suppose you said you were a...
I am a
This
sword
is your
summoner.
specialty?
Yes, I hunt creatures of nightmares.
Ah, maybe you can be of help then. I rolled to see how close-mouthed he would be, and I got a 1.
Oh God.
That's amazing.
So he's singing like a bird.
The fact that he's talking to an adventurer, it's like, oh, listen to the fun things that we had to deal with.
He's been on the ship too long and just came to port.
Fair enough.
Tell
So
me
it's
stories
like,
of the
And
outside
by the
world.
way,
Right.
So it's like Ducky from NCIS.
Yes!
So I got lucky and found the one guy that was easy enough to talk to.
Yeah, he did. I'll give it to you as easy as I can. We had to chain them down. We had a corpse come back to life. I'm not sure if maybe it just wasn't dead. We thought it was dead, and then it started moving again.
Is it in the fire?
It is now.
Good.
The other one like it isn't though. We have it chained downstairs, but nothing's moved yet.
Well, let me see what you have hiding down there.
Oh, okay.
I'm very curious.
Well, and I should talk to my commander too, because if you've seen all these things and you know of these things, you could be a big help to us. And
You too much too fast, my friend. Let me see what they are, and I will let you know if I can be of assistance.
What'd you say your name was, friend? I'm Dawson.
Harwin.
Harwin.
Yes.
Taylor will probably hear soon. You're fine, man. Just heads
That's
up.
Oh,
an
well, thank
interesting name. Harwin.
It's my family name, yes.
Well, like I said, I'm Dawson. We'll come on down and I'll show you what we got. And he leads you.
Harwin is my family name, not my given name.
Leads you down into the dungeons of Fort Calyx. And there's a lot of doors. There's an entire, once you get down the dungeon, it's a row, and there's doors on each side, and then a door at the end. And as you're passing, there are solid doors, but they have bars in the window. Think the windows with the
I want to
You know what I mean, right?
start talking too much.
Okay.
It's just a crazy thing, though. I never thought that I would have to visit Fort Calyx and talk to Benjamin Cuthbert. I mean, I've heard about him, but Benjamin Cuthbert, he's just this
These
man.
kind of doors.
Yep.
Okay.
I've heard about Benjamin Cuthbert. There's stories. I mean, Fort Calyx and the Cuthbert family. It's really interesting. I just can't wait to meet this Benjamin Cuthbert. And
Okay, so as you're passing all these doors,
every
and
single door, I'm saying Benjamin Cuthbert as I'm walking by.
as you're saying this,
I'm trying not to be overt about it.
right. You are 3 doors from the end, and you hear a cackle from behind one of the doors. It's almost a maniacal giggling.
And I will look through the window.
And you look through,
How much is that creepy in the window?
and you see what looks like
He was kidding. I think.
what looks
You
like
don't shoot a bow like this. I know, right?
Ow.
What is behind door number Q?
you see
God, forgive.
what. Another one bites the dust. And another one down. And
Hey,
another one
Darian.
down.
Color number Q.
I don't like you right now.
You see what looks like a old woman, but she looks dangerous. And
what are you in here for, Granny?
and it goes, no, you want to stay back. The last guard that talked to
I'm
her,
gonna have a conversation.
the last guard that talked to her stabbed himself in the eye because she told him to.
I don't think Grandma's gonna be quite that mean to me.
And you just watch this grin happen.
Am I Again, and why are you behind this door, Grandma?
Oh, because I made suggestions and people listened.
Oh?
You're on the losing side.
The losing side of what?
The war.
Well, I'm not much for wars.
You will be.
I'm more for money. Maybe I could be persuaded with that.
Your offers will come.
And what,
As soon as your guardian is disposed of.
my guardian? I don't have a guardian.
You're as dense as the rest.
I'm here of my own free will. I have no guardian.
Oh, but you do.
And who is my guardian? I really don't like being beholden to anyone.
Oh, you are not beholden to your guardian, but your guardian has chosen to be beholden to you.
Oh, well then it's
God,
not
Snow White! And she's just, I mean, she's like, creepy.
That is not my problem if you kill my guardian. I don't want one.
As you have said, it will be done.
But still, who is this guardian I suppose that they have? Maybe I can take care of him.
It will be clear to you soon. You are looking for Cuthbert.
Oh, yes. Benjamin.
No,
Do you know
I
about?
don't.
Do you know anything of him?
Yes. You'll find him on the table.
Which table?
And then she begins laughing maniacally and will not stop.
Okay. So again,
Roll me percentile real quick.
you have, and I'm gonna look at the guy. You have
He's like backed across the hall. He is creeped out beyond all.
91.
You
I like my
lucky,
percentile.
inglorious, undeserving bastard.
Kasuma or Hakuden did the same thing last
Rogan?
Boromir. No, Hakuden did
Hakuden.
the same thing. 91.
I have no words for you. You get to the room at the end, and Dawson unlocks it, and you see these creatures, corpses of creatures chained to tables. You see a goblin. You see a kobold,
Okay.
which throws you for a complete loop. You see what looks like an undead skeleton. You see what looks like an ogre, but smaller. It's humanoid size, but it looks and has the muscle structure of an ogre. You see a creature that, one of those orange orangutans.
Okay.
And then Dawson backs away from the last table and he goes, none of us have been able to figure out what that is with the antlers and as he's describing it, you can tell you are being allowed to see through the illusion. And the last table is the body of Benjamin Cuthbert.
The one with the antlers. I am going to go over to the body and I'm going to place my hand on it.
It is not in good condition.
And I am going to, as you said, I can tell I'm being allowed to see through the illusion.
Yes.
I am now going to break the illusion. If, from my understanding of illusions,
You feel like you're trying to. It doesn't seem to be registering for Dawson.
No, not for Dawson.
Oh.
From my understanding of illusions, if I physically interact with an illusion,
Mm-hmm.
it will help me disbelieve the illusion.
Okay, yes, you're aware that is, you have no question whatsoever.
Okay. I am going to,
I'm sorry.
in front of Dawson, I am going to lean the body as best I can.
Okay. And Dawson kind of comes over. That's creepy, man. Why are you touching that?
It is, but you must understand the corpses that you deal with to understand the nature of the beast that you're fighting. Please.
Have you ever seen a beast like this before?
I have. Give me your hand. I am going to do no damage to you. And I'm going to take his hand and very cautiously, so that he doesn't feel like I'm jerking him around or anything, but very cautiously place his hand through the antlers. This is not what you think it is.
Damn it, Dawson. He panics. He is so afraid that he is unable to comprehend. You're mad. You're mad, Harwin.
Your captain.
Okay, and he leaves, and he locks the door as he leaves, locking you in here with these
I'm okay with that.
corpses.
I'm okay with
And you still hear the cackling coming from down the hall.
Yep.
About 10 minutes passes. Sorry, guys, I will get back to you, I promise.
Fine.
But I spent a lot of time getting through you guys. The captain returned. Dawson comes back with his captain, and he introduces himself as Captain Creek. And he... Shut up, I was out of names! And Captain Creek comes in.
What is this?
We've been unable to identify it.
Wonderful, come here.
He comes over.
Give me your hand.
Dawson told me he...
And again, as cautiously, I will place his hand through the antler as well. This is an illusion.
You are walking him through this, and with everything you know about... Hey, thank you, Krabby, for the resub.
Thank you, Krabby.
Woo!
You know, in honor of Krabby's resub, can I roll a fireball?
Yes, I agree. Yes, do it. Do it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All in not favor say nay.
Nay.
It's a 1. I
Don't
tried,
you still have
Krabby.
DM advantage?
Oh, hey, you still have DM advantage.
However, we are split, so it will land halfway between.
And it's a 1.
Light the forest on fire.
Exactly.
Oh no, Erebus!
Exactly.
Right?
Don't have a guardian anymore, now do you? It's a 1. Sorry, Krabby, I tried.
And there's no way I can give him advantage on his roll for helping him through this?
He looks confused, and you can tell that he's mentally fighting. And as he's mentally fighting, you realize the cackling has stopped. And you hear chanting.
At that point in time, I will make my way over to her room.
Okay.
You have a choice, grandmother.
And she looks like she's focused. Her eyes are kind of glazed, and she's focused on the spell that she is trying to...
Fantastic.
Roll to hit.
No.
No?
No. I'm using sharpshooter and a nat 20.
How do you do it? Because it's too cool not to.
I am going to, as she's chanting...
And she was already severely wounded, so...
As she's chanting, I am going to do everything in my power and... Grandmother, go to sleep. And I will loose the arrow, and I am going to aim for the third eye.
You catch it perfectly. And as she drops dead, 2 things happen. 1, you hear a cry of absolute despair coming from the end of the hall from Captain Creek. And you feel a rising sense of panic, and Erebus is very much on your mind.
Okay.
Parisa. Rogan. William. What's up, guys?
William, I swear for you.
Night? Is it morning?
It's about 4:30 in the morning. Sorry, go ahead, Rogan.
I was just gonna say, William, I swear to you that our enemies will get no mercy from me.
You guys are man bonding about not enemies not getting any mercy.
Okay.
I am awake by this point, correct?
Yes, you are now awake.
I am going to search them out.
Okay. So close. You don't have to go far. It's almost like you somehow begin to sense where they are at. I approve.
So do you come walking in then?
Yeah, Parisa comes walking down to the garden. William has a very odd look on his face.
Parisa.
Yes.
Have you had any contact with Eric?
I have not yet. However, as I was meditating, I believe I found the answer to our conundrum of the Warden runes.
Okay.
There was how many years ago would that have been?
It would have been when you were a child. Like, you would have been, like, 7 or 8.
So
when he was asked to leave.
Like 15 years?
Yeah.
Okay. When I was a child, there was a human that had stumbled upon our people. Which is odd because most of the time humans don't come to Loxley lands.
Mm-hmm.
And this was right before, like, relations had even started with the Loxlies and...
Okay. And he stayed with our people for quite some time and was trained by our wardens. He wasn't fully trained, but he was... Something happened.
Be right back.
Okay.
There was some darkness in him that manifested in him wishing for our people to wage war not only against the dwarves, who we do not have a good relationship with, but also against the humans. And he was very sternly asked to leave. But if he is still alive, that would explain why there would be Loxley runes, potentially. If maybe he's joined forces with whatever is going on that's been causing all this strife.
Now, you didn't mention that the glyphs look somewhat infernal in nature. I'm assuming by the time William was coming through, the glyphs were basically gone from Eric.
Yeah, and the glyphs that started the earthquake were not infernal glyphs. The infernal glyphs were the ones that opened the tunnel at the end.
Okay.
This one was just oh hey, I won the horde! Yay! Thank you, Cuddly Wolf.
So, if this... Okay, so what makes you think in particular that this individual might be connected to this somehow, other than he was asked to leave? Was there anything else that seemed to indicate? Was there some kind of calling card, some kind of evidence or something that leads to
those particular runes? Those ones weren't the infernal ones. those were, I'm assuming they're Sylvan, they would be Sylvan?
Yes.
Okay, those are Sylvan runes.
I would have
Or-
recognized them.
Or would they be Elvish?
Hold that thought, because we said Loxley was a cross between Sylvan and Celestial.
Okay, because I have Sylvan written down. But I also have Elvish as like a
Because we had it as kind of a cross, so it would have looked... Shoot, I'm sorry, Eric, that was my oversight. They would have looked more familiar to you.
But that would make sense if the Warden runes were not quite fully Sylvan.
Right, because Loxley is a language of its own, but because we didn't know how to categorize it, we said it was the closest thing to it was Sylvan, but it would be like if Sylvan and Celestial and Elvish had a baby.
Gotcha.
It'd be pretty.
Right?
Okay.
But, so, I will explain that those particular runes would only be known to a Loxley Warden. And it's...
Yeah, Warden runes, like even other Loxleys, don't try to replicate them. It takes training. It's, the only thing I can think of is, do you remember in Aragon when he tries the rune without understanding it? And, like, it knocks him on his ass and knocks him out because he doesn't understand what he's doing. Yes, there's a balance. There has to be, for every give, there has to be a take.
So when a warden places glyphs, for example, this is William asking Parisa. So when a Loxley places, or a Loxley warden, what have you, places glyphs, there is am I understanding this correctly, that there is a signature that is individual, a stylistic idiosyncrasy of that glyph that you can assign it to the writer of those glyphs? So, like somebody's signature. Is there a telltale?
Like handwriting?
Yeah. Is it individual?
You've never... You know what? Yeah.
So would I...
Because even if I draw a circle and Joe draws a circle and you draw a circle, they're all circles, but they're all going to be a little... in that sense, yes.
Yes, but I wouldn't have been familiar with his...
No, you wouldn't be familiar with his writing, but it would make...
Is there a census anywhere for is there like a census of these are the people who are stationed at Fort Calyx, or these are the people?
Yes, there would be a military roster. And William, you would know that.
I would, if allowed, I would like to see that.
A Jack the Ripper of glyphs, you could say.
I'm guessing that should not be too much of a problem. The reason I'm asking is just, I'm trying to understand why you would suggest that this person, I'm not doubting you, I'm just trying to understand why you would suggest this person might be connected with this. Is there some kind of precedent that... I am mostly unfamiliar with Loxley culture and warden doctrine, so I'm just trying to understand what would make you think that it would be this individual. Is it some type of just insight on your part, which is perfectly acceptable?
Yeah, I'm player extrapolation a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. And
Loxleys are, for the most part, a fairly peaceful people, as far as my understanding is.
Yeah, I mean, they have a considerable martial prowess, but it's more, they've never been at war with anyone. They are very much of the forest and part of the forest.
We just don't like dwarves.
Well, the dwarves are kind of snotty. I mean, they walk around with their beards like that's something impressive, and it's just not. So Loxlies have an issue with that because Loxlies can't grow beards. It all comes down to the beards.
There's the root of the issue. Dwarves have these big, glorious beards, and Loxleys can't, for the life of them, grow a beard.
But Loxleys didn't have an issue with
Beard
that
envy.
until the dwarves shoved it in their face.
Shine down.
Yep.
It wasn't an issue until the dwarves started going, ha ha ha, I can grow a beard, you can't.
Okay, so
But the reasons the dwarves could grow the beards was because of the Loxleys homespun beard oil. Moving on.
okay, so
Was there homeopathic?
then okay, well that's all fine and dandy. I'm just trying to, you know, at this point, William's looking. He wants to figure out who and what is responsible for all this.
Right.
So he's, you know,
And Priestley, you don't know that Benjamin Cuthbert is dead yet.
Right.
he's in info gathering mode, essentially.
And so, Parisa is trying to explain that Loxleys are not naturally inclined to war.
No.
So
They're much more inclined to seek out peaceful resolution, which is why I'm trying to think of which nations it is. They actually have this, when they close their borders, they can see the opposing border, and like they have this big pomp and circumstance to.
India and Pakistan.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
so
Oh, that felt good.
So this guy really does stick out in terms of just all history of
right.
the Loxleys and Wardens as being very warlike,
And
that's why he was.
he was not a Loxley either, though.
Yeah,
he was human.
He was human. Trained by
How
the
dangerous
Loxleys.
does that make him?
So okay,
Sorry, Eric. What? Both you and Rogoth went at the same. What's Rogoth?
How dangerous does that make him?
How dangerous does that make him? You're not sure, just a little DM help, because you're not sure just how much he learned, but you do know that wardens are the ones who are taught to tie into the nature of earth magic itself.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones making the tree roots move. They're the ones calling storms, and
So knowing
the potential is bad, but you don't know how much he knows.
knowing the runes that were used, though, I mean, could I infer that we're dealing with a novice versus a master, or is it you have a seat on the council, but we do not grant you the rank of master? Like, is that kind of what happened?
Yes. You're not sure. And you aren't sure how much he was taught. But the potential is alarming.
how many years ago did you say this was?
I was a child, so. Or wait, how do Loxleys age?
Similar to elves.
Okay. So.
But I mean, you were young, like you were in your teens.
Okay. So, I mean, it was.
The only reason that you were as aware of it as you were at your age is because your mother was. This is when talks of being an ambassador and peace talks were just starting. He was the other voice. Your mother was going, hey, let's try to talk to him. And he was going, nah. They're only going to understand one thing.
Nah.
So how long ago was this?
How old are you, Parisa?
My age is at the human equivalent is 22.
Okay, so we're talking, this was probably 35 years ago.
Okay.
We're going to call it 35. It is now canon 35.
It is known.
It is known.
DM has spoken.
We need We need a gong noise for that. DM has
How
spoken.
how
Or a
long
gavel.
how long is the standard training for a warden?
I mean, I am in some ways technically still in training.
Okay, so if we assign apprentice, journeyman, master, how long is the apprenticeship approximately?
Good question.
What I'm trying to figure
Right,
out
right,
here
right,
is
right.
we've got a span of 35 years. I
Right.
want to know how old this guy was. He's a human. That gives us an idea if there's anything unnatural as far as aging is concerned. Who are we looking for? What are we looking for here? Is this an old guy? Is this,
He
you know?
should be. By your best guess, he would be in his mid to late 40s right now. No, he wouldn't, because 35 years.
Yeah.
Hold that thought. Wait a minute. He
Mid to
would be
late
mid 50s. Thank you.
Okay.
However, I would not discount, given the Loxley magic that he was taught,
You're on the right train.
I would not discount that there are that his aging would have slowed.
Is there any particular need for slowing aging since Loxleys are long-lived?
No, I'm just saying the nature of the magic that he was taught could have that effect just naturally.
From him being
Okay.
human.
Just like how certain foods that humans have received from the Loxlies have given them,
Longer lifespans. I mean,
and he was living with the Loxlies for a few years.
Okay, so
He was with the losses.
any idea how much that might just naturally extend his lifespan?
You have no
Are we
idea.
talking? Okay.
It's outside your pay grade. It's outside your range of purview. You know that over 3 generations, the human lifespan has over doubled in 80 years.
Okay.
I will convey this.
We also cannot discount the fact that he may have made a pact that might extend his age as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dealing
I'm
with
just trying
demons.
to get an idea of what we're trying to get a baseline here, and then as we talk to more people, try and gather more information. You know.
Do I have a recollection of what he looks like?
Roll me an intelligence.
Oof.
So what did his brow look like again?
That would be a 5.
He was a guy.
Okay.
Was
I still in the boys are icky phase?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Wait. Is he in that phase?
Uh-oh. DM's in trouble.
Alright, Krabby, you never know. You might get your wish, sweetie.
Wait, what?
He said, Lich, please.
Well, we had started to go after a lich in Sand and Magic, but I
In his Phileo directory.
yes, his Phileo Directory.
Right,
So
so
I thought it was
Okay.
Phileo Directory,
So-
not Phileo Directory.
Yeah, that was a very proper sounding British accent versus the one you two used. You guys do really Cockney accents for that.
Well, yeah.
So Eric, I'm gonna bump back to you real quick. Because for everyone in chat, I said at the beginning of chat, sorry if you weren't here, we are going to end early tonight, which is why we didn't go to break at 8. Because life.
Because excitable golden retrievers need love.
Help me, senpai! Eric, what would you like to do?
I'm going to make my way back into the room with Cuthbert's body.
Okay, and the illusion is completely dispelled. Captain Creek is retching in a corner.
Dawson's Creek.
So now you know the truth behind what happened here.
The look of devastation on his face is profound.
At that point in time, I'm also going to remove my cloak so that I am visible.
Okay,
I have been to the fort before, and Captain Creek should recognize me.
he does.
I have to report back to William Cuthbert.
I
Clean the body the best you can.
He nods,
And
and
I'm just gonna turn and start walking for Erebus.
as you can hear, he is doffing his armor.
And I'm gonna make my way back to Erebus. And once I get outside, I'm also going to activate the sending stone.
Okay. Parisa, you hear.
Hello?
Namaste, Uncle, Auntie.
I need to speak to William.
It's for you.
William here.
This has been an ongoing thing.
This is
That's
how we break the tension in this campaign.
Eric, what have you found?
Your father is dead.
I am aware of this.
Oh. How? I just broke the illusion.
That's very interesting. I was in prayer and he visited me in a vision. But be that as it may, please keep going.
There was a hag that ensorcelled the fort. That was nice. There was a hag that ensorcelled the fort and laid an illusion on your father that made him look as though he was a spirit of the forest. I killed the hag.
Good.
And the spell was dropped. Captain Creek is cleaning the body and getting it ready for transport. There's much to discuss. There's some strangeness that happened here at the fort.
How was my father slain?
I was not able to ascertain that. He looked very rough.
Okay, so it was by violence?
Oh, definitely by
I
violence.
just threw violence, poison.
Definitely by violence.
Okay.
Yeah. Cleaning the body and getting it prepared for burial is going to be a chore.
As to who
And a
or
half.
what killed him, I do not know.
Okay.
I do believe that it was most likely friendly fire, because he was ensorcelled to look like a spirit of the forest.
Okay.
I have to check on Erebus. She seems in bad shape. I'm going to grab her. I will stay here at the fort and expect you guys in the morning.
We'll leave it done and get there as quickly as possible.
I will make sure they know what to expect.
Thank you.
Why don't we leave now? It's almost dawn.
I need rest.
Well, not you. I'm talking to the other two.
I need rest, and they need time to clean up his father. So take care of what you need to at the fort or at the estate.
Done should be just fine. I want to make sure that my mother and sisters are
And that's where my brain went.
Okay.
well guarded and confer with them too.
I mean, right now this is one of the first times you've heard Eric sound extremely dour since meeting him here. There is a definite somber tone to him that you have never heard before.
Imagine that. You are booking it back to where you left Erebus?
I am moving with haste, but I'm not running.
Gotcha. You get back to the clearing where you left her, and you see the hollow in the tree, and you see one of her wings hanging out the hollow, and there is a dart in the tree. And you're a little panicked because it looks like it went through her wing. And as you rush over to look, it is by some minute 10% or less stroke of luck that the dart went in between feathers and did not actually hit her.
Okay.
And you can see just by looking that this dart is coated with something.
I will acquire her.
And you can just, for some stupid reason, whatever fired this dart, saw it hit the wing and was confident the job was done. By some slender stroke of luck, you bastard.
You're welcome. I will acquire
No, but
I will acquire her. I will acquire the dart. And I will, in this situation, I will take Erebus in the crook of my arm, and I will take the dart in the cloth.
gotcha. She's
and make my way back to the fort.
awake now, but she seems exhausted is the best word for it, but she seems protective, almost like she's trying to put herself in front of your heart.
I'm just going to scold her. Stay.
She doesn't have the energy to argue.
Right. I will make my way back to the fort, and immediately I want to find the quartermaster.
Okay.
Or not the quartermaster. I want to find the the quartermaster would work because he'd be in charge of arms.
You mean the master of arms?
Quartermaster, master of arms. I
Same
think
thing.
they're both the similar jobs.
Yeah.
And expose the dart. Do you recognize this?
Yes, we've lost 5 men in the past fortnight.
What fired it? What threw it? What?
We do not know. It comes out of the bushes, out of the trees, and when it hits, there seems like there's blackened spirals going through their veins. We've never been able to see.
There is some sort of assassin. I'm going to wrap that back up.
Okay.
I need a room with no windows, and I need some. I need something for healing.
Thank you, Weekend Wolf.
Thank you, Weekend.
Thank you, Weekend.
They are very accommodating. They are in the process of getting you what you need. There are a couple women at the fort, the equivalent of washerwomen at the fort, and they have taken it upon themselves to care for Benjamin Cuthbert's body and prepare it as best they can for his son's arrival.
I would like to walk by and just take a casual glance at it and see if I can ascertain the type of the violence he met.
It looks like a mace or a morning star had a heyday.
Oof.
It's rough.
It's messy.
And, that kind of confirms what I was thinking because creatures wouldn't leave mace marks.
Yep. It looks like he took multiple hits. You're not sure how he was still standing.
He's a Cuthbert.
He's a
we're kinda
Cuthbert.
tough,
So I'm going to mark that one in the annals, and I'm going to rest.
Okay. You go to rest. Everyone at the Cuthbert estate is exchanging information, and we are going to end there. Please do not go anywhere. We are going to raid our good friend Lich.
Woohoo! Okay, let me hop back in the stream before we do that.
Yeah, how do I do that?
I got it.
That you got it, Thaco? Alright, thank you everyone for swinging by. Sorry it was a shorter stream. But you know what? Stay safe, give hugs.
One more thing, please.
Thank you to Syrinscape for the audio that we had. Thank you to everyone else who bopped into chat. Have a great night, guys. We are gonna go raid. Raid.
Have fun, guys.
Good Nacht.
And here we are.
Have fun storming the castle.
And then hit one and
It'll
then
take a miracle.
Hit what?
one and then nine.